Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do. It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking money.
When Jake Paul got hit with backlash after the rumored Anthony Joshua fight fallout involving Netflix, I watched the entire situation unfold knowing exactly what the event was supposed to represent. This wasn't meant to feel like influencer boxing, exhibition chaos, or celebrity entertainment. It was promoted as a legitimate global heavyweight spectacle streamed worldwide on Netflix, a real boxing event inside a packed arena with official judges, medical staff, elite production, and the pressure of serious competition. And standing in the middle of it all was Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, a matchup designed to blur the line between entertainment and real boxing.
I heard that Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with and Netflix was just waiting for a reason.
Jake Paul walked into the event carrying the image he had built for years. Fearless, confident, untouchable, different from everyone else. That was the branding. That was the entire pitch behind the spectacle. But standing across from him was not a retired MMA fighter, a former athlete chasing headlines, or a nostalgia-driven opponent brought in for entertainment value. It was Anthony Joshua, a former two-time unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and a fighter whose instincts were forged through years of elite-level warfare. Joshua had spent over a decade trading punches with real heavyweights at the highest level of boxing. He wasn't built through social media moments or viral clips. He was built through championship rounds, pressure, failure, recovery, and experience against the best fighters in the world.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the
gap in experience felt impossible to ignore. Anthony Joshua carried Olympic pedigree, world championships, years of elite competition, and losses that sharpened him into a smarter fighter. Jake Paul, meanwhile, carried highlight reels, internet hype, and opponents carefully selected to maintain momentum. Physically, the mismatch looked even worse. Joshua possessed a reach, size, timing, composure, and natural heavyweight power that only comes from real championship experience. And he carried all of it quietly, without needing theatrics or noise. Jake relied on energy, attention, and spectacle to create pressure. Joshua relied on presence alone.
Anthony Joshua didn't throw a single straight right hand for 6 rounds.
This was the first time Jake Paul stepped into the ring with a prime, active, world-level boxer who had absolutely nothing to protect and everything to prove. There was no scripted narrative, no safety net, no carefully controlled storyline, only risk. And the moment the opening bell rang, the reality became obvious. This fight was no longer about winning. It became about surviving long enough to avoid being exposed too quickly. Because the danger wasn't just the possibility of a knockout. The real threat was something much bigger. The public unraveling of the Jake Paul boxing image in front of a global audience. For years, confidence and marketing helped blur the line between celebrity entertainment and elite boxing. But against a real heavyweight champion, that illusion started cracking in real time. The idea that self-belief alone could replace world-class experience suddenly looked fragile under the brightest lights possible.
And not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow. I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground, I was like, that was a good shot.
Did he surprise you with his power?
To be honest, no, but I mean, he surprised my jaw.
From the opening seconds, Jake Paul's strategy became painfully clear. Move constantly, avoid exchanges, clinch when necessary, reset, and survive. There was no attempt to dominate the ring or impose control. Every movement felt designed around staying safe rather than taking over the fight. Anthony Joshua recognized it immediately, and that's the detail many people missed. Joshua deliberately slowed the pace down. He measured distance carefully, observed reactions, and allowed fatigue to become part of the punishment. Instead of rushing recklessly, he let pressure and experience slowly drain the energy from his opponent before fully committing to power shots. Jake circled the ring like someone desperately trying to stay afloat. Every clinch looked like relief. Every reset bought him only a few more seconds. Joshua never panicked. He never chased emotionally. He simply waited. That patience is what real elite experience looks like. When a fighter understands the other man is already exhausting himself just trying to survive, there is no need to rush the ending.
If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man.
Then came the 5th round, the moment everything finally collapsed for Jake Paul. 2 knockdowns in the same round, not from reckless chaos or dramatic exchanges, but from accumulation. His balance disappeared. His defense began unraveling. His legs stiffened. His breathing grew heavy. That round stripped away every remaining illusion. Jake was not unlucky. He was completely outmatched. By the 6th round, the ending felt inevitable. Anthony Joshua landed one perfectly timed power shot, and physics handled the rest. No controversy, no theatrics, just elite timing meeting exhaustive resistance. The referee stepped in because nothing else needed to be proven. Jake's body had already surrendered before the count could even finish.
Looks like Jake Paul is trying to bait him into something, but he's the one that's hit the canvas twice in this round. Incredible.
The reaction afterward revealed everything. Many people were surprised Jake Paul survived 6 rounds, but they were even more shocked by how helpless he looked once real pressure started building. This wasn't a story of bravery or resilience. It was a slow dismantling captured from every possible angle with nowhere to hide. The tough guy image faded quickly. Within hours, Jake was reportedly transported to a hospital for medical evaluation. No dramatic victory speeches. No loud celebrations. Just fluorescent hospital lights and medical staff doing what they are trained to do after a brutal night inside the ring.
I love this shit, and I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Are you surprised you went 6 rounds with the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I just got tired, to be honest. It was just so...
The injury reports only made the situation more serious. First came rumors of a broken jaw, then confirmation of something even worse, a double fracture. Not speculation, not internet gossip. Medical imaging reportedly confirmed the damage. Recovery estimates immediately shifted toward a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks, assuming no complications appeared. And that kind of injury changes everything. A fractured jaw is not a simple bruise or cosmetic damage. It affects eating, speaking, breathing, training, basic functions most people take for granted. It is structural damage, the type of injury that can permanently alter the way a fighter approaches combat moving forward. But Jake Paul being Jake Paul, the situation quickly became content online. Social media posts, sarcastic captions, hospital jokes, and carefully crafted bravado attempted to turn a painful reality into another marketing moment. Even profile photos leaned into performance. Instead of reflection, accountability, or humility, the focus shifted immediately back toward branding.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
I started talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was trying to get his head. I think I pissed him off. What were you telling him? I was just saying fuck him.
That's where the entire situation became difficult to ignore. Jake Paul lost a fight, then immediately tried turning real physical trauma into entertainment content. And people noticed the contrast instantly. The image was brutal. A man promoting fearlessness, while publicly documenting the consequences of facing someone who genuinely belonged at the elite level of heavyweight boxing. It no longer looked like confidence or control. It looked like someone realizing in real time that self-belief cannot repair fractures and cameras cannot soften impact once reality arrives inside the ring.
Yeah. I was talking but I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck his jaw, huh? You know, he exposed his jaw. Yeah? You don't care, though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
We'll see him back again for sure?
Yeah.
Fighters and analysts reacted almost immediately after the fight, and very few sounded impressed. The biggest surprise wasn't that Jake Paul lost. It was that the fight lasted as long as it did. Not because Jake performed brilliantly, but because Anthony Joshua never truly needed to accelerate beyond control. The consistent takeaway from professionals was simple. Joshua never overextended, never chased emotionally, never panicked, and never took unnecessary risks. He stayed patient, made adjustments, gathered information, and finished the fight only when the moment was right. That detail mattered more than anything else. Because once the emotion disappeared and the fight was analyzed carefully, the idea that Jake Paul somehow pushed a world champion to his limit completely fell apart.
Now, you asked me a question. Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request.
Then the conversation shifted toward money. Because with Jake Paul, it almost always does. Rumors and financial estimates began circulating that both Jake and Anthony Joshua walked away with somewhere between $40 and $50 million each, with some reports suggesting the final numbers could climb even higher through back-end deals and streaming incentives tied to Netflix. That's when the public reaction changed completely. The narrative formed fast. Jake Paul could lose badly in front of the world and still leave richer than ever. The defeat did not humble him. It protected him financially. And for many fans, that became frustrating. Boxing audiences can accept losses. What they struggle to accept is watching someone get dismantled inside the ring, while still behaving like the night somehow ended in victory because the paycheck cleared.
Thank you very much. I'm here with the winner, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, congratulations on the win. How would you describe that fight?
Well, first of all, I want to give love to the crowd, everyone that came out. I really do appreciate everyone in this venue.
The comparisons quickly became ruthless. Jake Paul started getting described less like a traditional fighter and more like a master marketer, someone who sells hype more effectively than substance. Critics painted him as a spectacle-driven brand first and a boxer second, a personality built around trends, controversy, and monetized attention who struggles once genuine pressure arrives. What made the criticism stick was not simply the loss itself. Fighters lose all the time. The real damage came from the perception that Jake tried framing the defeat as some kind of strategic or moral success instead of accepting reality directly. That attitude made the backlash even louder. Meanwhile, the focus inside Netflix shifted rapidly away from punches and toward business consequences. For Netflix, this was never just entertainment content. It was supposed to be their major statement entering the world of elite boxing, proof they could compete with established fight platforms on the global stage. Jake Paul was meant to serve as the bridge. Controversial, loud, profitable, and capable of attracting massive audiences.
Because it's a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations. It's not criminal, so there must be something.
Then came the collapse of the rumored super fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. The event was reportedly scheduled for November 14th in Miami, and momentum behind it had already exploded. Tickets moved quickly. Promotional campaigns were active. Advertising inventory had been secured. Sponsors committed money. Production teams were hired. Venues prepared. Netflix had reportedly invested enormous resources before a single punch had even been thrown. Internal projections surrounding the event allegedly approached $120 million in total business value on subscriptions, sponsorships, advertising, and long-term platform positioning were included. This was not treated like a casual experiment. It was a massive corporate operation already in motion. By that stage, the machine was already running at full speed.
Because it's a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations. It's not criminal, so there must be something.
Then everything reportedly fell apart when Jake Paul canceled the event unilaterally. There was no slow negotiation, no gradual compromise, no carefully managed exit strategy, just a decision that instantly disrupted a massive business operation already in progress. According to the allegations surrounding the dispute, Netflix did not frame the issue as confusion or simple miscommunication. The language reportedly centered around claims of a willful breach of contract. That wording carried enormous weight because it implied intentional action rather than unavoidable circumstances. Reports surrounding the lawsuit place a figure near $100 million, with the possibility of additional lost profit claims, increasing the financial danger even further. At that point, the issue stopped being about changing plans and became about accountability, reliability, and corporate trust. Jake's credibility as a dependable headline attraction reportedly took a major hit. Streaming platforms do not easily forget disruptive events of that scale, and advertisers are even less forgiving when major campaigns collapse publicly. For Netflix executives, the embarrassment was significant. A company known for precision and calculated business strategies suddenly appear exposed after heavily investing in a personality-driven boxing spectacle that spiraled into legal conflict. To that stage, Jake Paul had not only lost a fight in the public eye, he had also reportedly exhausted the patience of a billion-dollar company.
Jake Paul, he's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find a way.
Now Jake Paul's public image appears more divided than ever. Once marketed as fearless and disruptive, he is increasingly labeled evasive and unreliable by critics. Supporters argue he made a principled decision, while opponents describe it as fear disguised behind public messaging. The debate itself has become exhausting, but the consequences surrounding his reputation feel very real.
I don't like it. Even Anthony Joshua had some class and, apologized to me.
Did he really?
Yeah. He worked his way through the crowd and came up to me and said, "Mom, it's just boxing.
He said it's the fight game.
It's just the fight game."
I'm obviously...
Behind the scenes, sponsors reportedly began reconsidering partnerships quietly, while future platforms appear more cautious about placing trust in someone capable of canceling a global event so suddenly. Legal disputes create more than headlines. They drain time, focus, momentum, and money. No matter how loud an online persona becomes, business uncertainty eventually catches up. While lawyers argue, training slows. While court battles continue, opportunities disappear. And the boxing world tends to judge fighters through actions under the lights rather than explanations afterward. Inside the sport, respect is earned through performances in the ring, not through captions, interviews, or carefully managed narratives. Because at the highest level of boxing, nobody receives credit for what almost happened. Fighters are remembered for what they actually do once the cameras are rolling, and there is nowhere left to hide.